Welcome to my Module 12 walkthrough. We'll go ahead and kick things off here in Postman and we'll get through these APIs real fast. Starting off, we'll go ahead and start with the Get Restaurants API. So this does have parameters, but we'll go ahead and do a 1-1. Okay, updated all our response down here. And if you look, every restaurant that is pulled has a price range of 1 and a restaurant rating of 1. Pulling this back down. Okay. And as you see, that list is updated now with those parameters. If I wanted to leave 1 blank, now it's going to give me everything based off of just that restaurant rating. And you can see some of those price ranges are different there. And then that also works vice versa. As well as no parameters at all. And this will just pull all of our restaurants. And not to get too confused, all of these are coming from our database. See, as I pull those up. So ID numbers and all the info should match up with exactly what's in our Postman. Right over here. Okay, moving on, we'll go to getting those restaurants by an individual ID. Okay, boom, so send. You can see we pulled up a new restaurant, verifying that that is in fact a restaurant in our database. You can see right here, Pat's Place, restaurant ID 44, and then everything associated with that restaurant. If we didn't have that restaurant body, say it's not found. Okay, moving on. This is now creating a restaurant. We'll go ahead and stick with what I kind of have here. We'll change a few things. Give ourselves a restaurant rating of 5, of course. Merlin Ave I haven't actually used, or Merlin Maze. Okay, looks good. And like I said, we're creating this with a user ID that's already existing. In our response down here, you see we got Pat7 as ID 51 in our restaurants. So jumping back over to dbeaver, go ahead and update this list. And you see Pat7 showed up right there with everybody listed. Our address, user ID, miss that arrow. This is that user. Perfect. All right. Moving right along, let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and update this restaurant in any way. I believe that was ID 51. Okay. And we're going to raise our prices just a bit and update our phone number too. You see ID 51 with all that new information that we just updated. Things stayed the same. Let's jump over to the database. You see those things changed over there as well. Moving right along, let's go ahead and say they quickly went out of business. Let's see if we can just go ahead and delete that whole restaurant. Perfect. New spot, deleted. Jump back over to the database. See if it left. And it sure is did. Okay, moving right along, we're going to move to getting products. Okay, so getting products, this is going to be getting products based on a restaurant number, or restaurant ID, I apologize. So pull number 14, and it will pull all of the products from this restaurant with their ID, the name, and what their actual price is. Just to verify, we pulled 14. So our products, and then if we were to come over and look, just go up, highlighting all of restaurant 14, these are all their products. So you got poke, somtam, linguine and clams, lasagna, and pasta and beans. Jump back over here. If I enter restaurant number 9, we see that that is not, in fact, a restaurant, which is correct as far as they do not have any products listed and there is no ID. Moving along, this is updating a status, okay? So we will come back over to dbeaver and look at what some of our orders that I've already created are. Okay, we see the status column over here. So let's just take this order number 58 and we'll update it from a pending to a delivered status. And the reason I say those is because in our product status table, order statuses, apologize. Here we go. We see that those are in fact the names listed there. So jumping back over into Postman, changing this into says delivered. Saw an update down there in VS Code. Double checking to see what in fact this did. Let's hit a little refresh and we see that it did update. You can click on that. It says delivered. Fantastic. Finish up with a couple more here. This is now going to be able to find orders based on a couple of parameters. And those parameters just being the type, whether we want to look up a customer ID or a restaurant ID, and then it'll pull all of those restaurants depending on those parameters. So if we jump back over, we'll stick with customer for right now. We can look at our orders at customer ID, and we can see that we do, let's look for number 12. Customer 12 has a couple orders in here. So Postman, I want to do customer with an ID of 12, and let's just see what his orders in fact are. Okay, we see everything we want to know about that person, where they're at, what they ordered, okay? And those orders are listed. I saw another customer with 5. Okay, now we pulled all the orders for customer with the ID of 5. This works, like I said, with other parameters. I'll show you one more here. Restaurant. We'll see if restaurant 5 is there. So you can see all of the orders. I can make this a little bigger. You can see all of the orders associated with restaurant ID of 5. For restaurant 13. Awesome. Now finally creating an order. This is where knowing those databases and what those product orders are helps quite a bit. So we'll go ahead and say we want to order from restaurant, say 15. Okay. We can jump to dbeaver. We can see what the restaurant 15 products in fact are. Boom. Right under here. So it looks like we're going to look for 37 through 40. we like this restaurant. Okay, we created order number 59. Says where it came, customer, what we wanted, gives us our courier. Awesome. We'll jump over dbeaver, see if that showed up. There we go, in 59. And if we wanted to, we could jump back in there and update that status. But for right now, we'll jump over to VS Code and I'll kind of walk you through a few of those. This is just kind of where everything is going on. So here in this restaurant controller class, it's handling the front end operations for creating a restaurant, updating, deleting, and even retrieving some of that data. It does communicate here with the service layer, which is basically the back end. It's responsible for all of the logic as far as those operations, as far as creating, reading, updating, and deleting, again, that restaurant. It also communicates with some of the DTOs that are just the data transfer objects as far as cleaning things up when we don't need all of the actual information that would then be relayed to the repository. And this is just where some of the SQL queries are happening for those operations. Again, this was the service that's talking to some of those DTOs for the operations as far as creating a restaurant here. This is going to be updating a restaurant. Here's our delete. Okay. Moving along, second group of some of those operations we just went over in Postman. Again, just looking at our order controller. This is just handling, again, those front end requests as far as creating orders and retrieving information about those orders and updating the statuses, everything like that. Communicates here with the service layer, creating, again, those orders. It validates information, everything talking with DTOs and everything that then go to the repository for some of those other operations. That is my Module 12 walkthrough. If you have any other questions, please reach out. Thank you for your time.